Welcome to Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford, the Provost of West Georgia Technical College here in LaGrange, and we're here and 2 times per month to give you information about West Georgia Technical College and to keep you up to date on what's happening on your campus here in LaGrange.
When you earn your GED diploma, the barriers in your life fall. Take the first step and get free GED information in your area at 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or yourged.org. Earn your GED diploma and begin your brighter future.
Welcome back to Technically Speaking. Today I have as my guest Mr. Creighton Kelly. Mr. Kelly is the Director of Instruction at West Georgia Technical College. Welcome to Technically Speaking, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you.
If you would, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how did you get into the technical education business, and I think it would be interesting for our viewers to kind of know what you think about your background and how that really fits in perfectly to what you're doing today, and I guess even more than that, how that really benefits our students.
Okay, be happy to talk about that. I'm a transplant from the Carolinas. I came in with Millikan 35 years ago. Spent a really fantastic career with that company, working in engineering and moving into manufacturing, learning about manufacturing processes and management of human resources as well. Then I moved into the business environment. I traveled the world with Millikan working on projects that were relevant to the clean room industry. Learned a lot about how other companies operate. We were part of the Malcolm Baldrige effort with Millikan. And that was my background that I felt qualified me to go into my second profession, which would be instruction, teaching. I came to West Georgia Tech and hired in as the management and supervision instructor. That allowed me to teach 19 course curriculum that really focused the students on everything about a management career, everything from human resources, performance appraisal, to operations management, managerial accounting, etc. So I felt well prepared for that situation. And we merged with a college north of us, West Central, and became West Georgia Technical College. And at that point, I was invited and delightedly honored to be asked to become the Director of Instruction, which simply means I supervise the faculty at the college.
Okay, now, let me jump in because that's all interesting. Tell the folks specifically what your background is and what university you went to, and the point we want to stress here is that how qualified you are to be at a technical institution as opposed to somewhere else. So what's your baccalaureate degree in?
I have a baccalaureate of science from Clemson University as an electrical engineer.
Electrical engineer, okay.
And
good.
then I have my MBA from LaGrange College. From,
very good, very good school.
Not yet.
Alumni of LaGrange College as well?
That's right. So that put me in a position to be a technical expert, so to speak, in the engineering field. And of course the MBA brought along the business aspects, and which I enjoyed working with both components of that in my career with Millikan.
Right. Your MBA, you enjoy your MBA work? I've also got an MBA from Mercer University, but MBA, was that pretty good deal, and has that helped you in your educational field? Has it helped you managerially or anything like that?
Anyone that has technical prowess, so to speak, needs a little bit of that business background to understand how to make it all work. Right. And in the MBA program, you get a lot of that in international business, learnings. You get quantitative analysis of business situations, complications in manufacturing. You get the human resource component of it. So an MBA is an excellent way to become proficient in those aspects and enhance your technical skills.
Right, and interestingly enough, the viewing public out there might not understand this, but when our accrediting agency comes to visit us, SACS, one of the questions they ask about all the upper level administrators, which this position certainly is, they want to know that, or they want you to explain to them what background that your administrators have that prepare them to be able to do the job that they have to do day in and day out. So very interesting background, and you certainly are well qualified for your position at West Georgia Tech. Let's talk about the goings-on at West Georgia Tech that are, I think we can both agree, things are changing so fast at West Georgia Tech that it's really hard to even get your hands around all the stuff that is changing at West Georgia Tech. As you've already said, we merged with the college up the road, the old West Central Technical College in Carrollton, and the LaGrange campus here in LaGrange, the West Georgia Technical College, merged about 3 years ago, 2 years ago I suppose, 2 years, to become a bigger, better entity. So little West Georgia Technical College campus became, when we merged, went from 2,000 students to roughly about, how many do we have now?
8,000 was the number last quarter.
Right, about 8,000 students. So we're a very big college that has a lot to offer to a lot of different folks. But one of the main things that is happening at West Georgia Tech, which I personally think is just of unbelievable importance, that I think our viewing public needs to be aware of, is the Q2S that we see all over billboards as we're riding up towards Carrollton, or if we're riding out the Roanoke Road, big billboards out there. Q2S. What is Q2S? Why is Q2S important, and whatever else we might need to know about Q2S?
Okay. Q2S is our acronym for quarter to semester conversion. Right. Q2S, quarter to semester. We have struggled with the notion of doing that for years. It's a big transition component. We know it has some positive, very positive impact long term, some short term challenges, and we'd call it controlled chaos is what we're doing at the moment. The conversion to semester is important for several reasons. One is it puts us on a parallel with the other colleges in the state and in the area.
And what specifically, so that we really make sure that our viewing public understands, who are you talking about? Why were we not on the same wavelength or same whatever?
Well, the Board of Regents colleges, typically the University of College and everything in that system, is on the semester system. And the semester system typically starts in late August and runs until mid-December. And then we start again in early January and run until the May time frame. And then we would also offer a summer session, which can either be a 8-week session or 2 4-week sessions.
Okay, now let me jump in here. What are we currently on? So I'm going to assume that we are not currently on a semester system.
We're on a quarter system. Okay. And the quarter system is 4 quarters per year, and it's the same regimen of 10 weeks 4 times a year, so there's your 40 weeks.
Right.
Now we're going to a semester system where we will teach the instruction in 2 15-week semester periods and an 8-week summer session.
Okay, and the big benefit, if we could name just 1 or 2 benefits of we got to do this, make this change from currently the quarter system which we're on to the semester system which we're going to, what would be 1, maybe 2 really, really important benefits to our students?
The 2 key benefits would be it would dovetail with the other systems, including the high school systems, which are on a semester basis. So for dual enrollment, that's helpful for us to be on a similar system with them. It's beneficial for any transfer that we would incur, allowing a student to move from a 2-year college to a 4-year college so that they could finish up in May and start again in August. And dovetail with the system. It also helps us in the accreditation and the transfer piece in that any issues that might be around a transfer course being taught in 10 weeks versus 15 weeks are now eliminated.
Right.
And so that transferability and articulation that we have with the other colleges, and by the way, the Board of Regents has now increased our number of transfer courses from 5, which were your basic math, English, and science, to 10, which now include psychology, sociology, and other courses along that line. So we've really picked up a nice piece of alignment with them, allowing 10 courses to be directly transferred from our institution to the Board of Regents school.
And boy, I have to jump in right there, because for our viewing public watching, that is huge on so many levels. In the past, you could attend West Georgia Technical College, you could complete your associate degree coursework, and you would have thought that all of those credits that you had earned at West Georgia Tech would have just automatically transferred to one of our sister in-state schools, Board of Regents schools. And of course the Board of Regents schools are the big schools: Georgia, Columbus State, Valdosta State, Georgia Southern, all these big traditional colleges that all of our viewing public knows about in Georgia. But so you mean to tell me that those just wouldn't automatically transfer?
Well, today they will.
But in the past?
In the past, if the receiving institution was not in agreement, they could refuse it. That's correct.
And in the end, that's not really fair. We didn't think anyway in our system to our students to do that. And we could talk about the accreditation piece and all that, which we will shortly. But Q2S, a big deal. When does this take place? When does all this come to fruition? All this hard work takes place when?
Yeah. Well, it takes place August the 23rd will be our fall enrollment, and we will enroll after a 5-week summer session, which is available to people now to take for the summer, which will start July the 6th. And the hard work that has gone on is faculty adjusting their schedule, their curriculum, their syllabus, all of those pieces and components that have to be worked out to make the 10-week course now become relevant in the 15-week time period. And
just out of curiosity from my viewpoint here, do we feel kind of a buzz on the campus? Do we feel
it's alive.
An excitement?
Yes,
Do our students, you think, really understand what's happening and the importance of it?
Yes, we in my opinion, have done a fantastic job. We required every faculty member to have a face-to-face advisement session with each student, and what we've done is made sure that those students that were near completion in the quarter period were able to finish, and we've taken an approach that there will be no harm to the student in this transition. So if there's a decision to be made, we're going to make that decision in the favor of the student to make sure they get what they need, because needless to say, there's some coursework in some curriculum that when we adjust to a semester schedule will be different than the quarter schedule, and we don't want a student to have to repeat something in the fall session. So there's a lot of good work. The face-to-face advisement has been key and essential. The students are certainly excited about the semester, because now they're planning for alignment with the other colleges, their own schedule, their family schedules because of high schools, and it makes it all relevant and a worthwhile cause for that reason.
All right, that's good stuff. Really appreciate that. It's time to take a quick break. Before we do that, I want to give you our telephone number at West Georgia Tech. That's 706-845-4323. And our web address is a good way to get a hold of us, is www.westgatech, and that's westgatech.edu. So 706-845-4323 or www.westgatech.edu, and we'll be right back.
Welcome home, man.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year, I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Find out how you can live United for Education. Give, advocate, volunteer. Go to liveunited.org.
Do you wear this?
Welcome back to Technically Speaking. Today we have as our guest Mr. Creighton Kelly. Mr. Kelly is the Director of Instruction at West Georgia Technical College, specifically our LaGrange campus. And we're so glad you took time out of your busy day to come tell us a lot of good stuff about West Georgia Tech.
Thank you.
As I read the newspapers and watch the news at night, all you hear is about jobs, sadly job loss, an economy that slowed down a little bit. So I think it's important if we talk a little bit to our viewing public about what role does West Georgia Tech play, or what role can West Georgia Tech play in a person's life to help to get them back to a point where they're really more employable.
Okay. Let me begin that by telling you that our curriculum is broken into really 4 key components. One is our healthcare division. The second is our business and information and public services division. And then we have our trade and technology division, which is mostly what people think of when they think of a technical college. And then we have our arts and sciences. And arts and sciences is your core curriculum that we've talked about previously. When we talk about jobs, particularly in the trade and technology area, there's a tremendous opportunity for a student, particularly in our welding and air conditioning programs. Others would be our commercial truck driving, where there are jobs available. And frankly, we need more students to fill the jobs.
And now, why would that be? Because Mr. Kelly and myself, we have these deep discussions periodically in the afternoon. What can we do, do you think, in your opinion, with your expertise and your years in education, what can we do to try to get this message out to folks that there are jobs out there in these professions today that need skilled, trained workers?
Exactly. We have 50 pleas for trained welding students at this point.
50 welders.
We could supply 50 welders if we had the students to take on that program, and those are really good paying jobs.
What about truck driving positions?
Truck
Do we have
driving,
people calling for truck drivers?
we have multiple entities in town and around in the region that are looking for not only truck drivers but school bus driver training that we provide at West Georgia Technical College. So plenty of opportunity there. Air conditioning people, pretty much when they're done with their diploma, they go to work.
So we got people calling for air conditioning techs.
That's it. They go to work.
What about machine tool folks and electronic folks?
The electronics is a hot area for us, and we're now in training with some robotic devices. And most people will tell you that they know that Kia's full of robots, and we have other industry in town that are the same way.
And now, just interestingly here, at least Mr. Alford finds this very interesting. Tell our viewing public the kind of dollars that are associated with these specific careers or positions we're talking about. Yeah. What about a truck driver?
Well, truck drivers are very dependent on which path they take. If they take a local route versus a long distance haul route, et cetera, et cetera.
Just a general number, more than minimum wage.
Oh yeah. Well, $20 an hour typically for these jobs is kind of the minimum.
Right.
But a truck driver that is willing to haul a long route can make anywhere between $65,000 and $100,000 a year. So you're looking at some really good money here.
What about our welders? When they're leaving West
Georgia? Welders typically $35 an hour is a good place to start them, depending on whether they're doing flat welding or pipe welding. Depends on whether they go into the nuclear industry, which we have a lot of requests from at this point for pipe welding in that industry, highly regulated industry.
And I know a couple of weeks back you introduced me to a very unusual welder who was a graduate of our program who is doing, I think you told me, underwater welding?
That's right. He works off the oil rigs in the Gulf Coast.
And is that a pretty good, high-paying job?
He's making more than 6 digits.
Lots more than you and I.
Like that.
the electronics person. You're from
Electronics.
business and industry in Milliken, and
Absolutely.
you worked in these plants. What is the electronics?
The electronics
graduate?
people looking for PLC controller trained students, people that understand how to work a logic device that controls a robot or manipulates some machine or adjusts some variable temperature, what have you, in a pressure vessel, whatever it is.
And do they make decent money?
Oh yeah, they're in that $20 to $30 hour range as well.
What about drafters? Did we still even
We still have
use
our drafting
drafters?
program,
Did we still
and
use? Okay.
CAD/CAM has always been the core of that. Computer-aided design is a key, but now we have 3D design, and this particular training allows a student to generate the three-dimensional devices that big decisions can be made on, whereas before you would have to make a model or
Right.
build a quarter scale device to simulate it.
Right.
Now we can do that on a computer, and we have our 3D drafting program well in place.
And
for
I'm
those
assuming
students.
these students make pretty good money?
They are on high demand and make great money.
And do we have positions available at West Georgia Tech right now? Let's say if I'm watching this broadcast and I go, wow, that's what I've always wanted to do.
We have room for you. We
Okay.
have room for you. And let me get to some of the other important areas. We
Okay.
have our cosmetology area that's in high demand, and particularly for salons that need hairstylists that are around. We have our barbering program. We have an esthetician program, and for those that don't know esthetician, that's the part that they work on the body and the skin, so it's more than the face. Cosmetologists work on your face and your hair.
Okay.
Estheticians work on your back, your legs, your skin, your muscle tone, that type of thing. It's not a deep massage
Right.
curriculum, but it is a skin care, skin treatment,
Right.
relaxation, wholeness of lifestyle program. Then our health sciences program, which is a very competitive environment, and you have to kind of earn your wings to get into our nursing programs.
Right.
And we have our registered nursing, our licensed practical nursing program. We have a certified nursing assistant, commonly referred to as CNA, and we have our phlebotomist program.
And now there's probably no jobs available for those people, right? Or
No, those people are in very high demand.
they're in high demand too?
They're in high demand.
Okay. And if we pick up a newspaper, which we do because we're studying the market, there are jobs out there, any newspaper you pick up.
That's
I would
correct.
think, at least the
That's
newspapers
correct.
I'm looking at, you pick up, we need truckers, we need welders, we need cosmetologists,
That's right.
we need health care.
That's right. And then behind the scenes, we have our business division and our public services area, which I've talked a little bit about with cosmetology. But our business area is the behind the scenes person where they're doing the administrative work in these areas. So our BAT people would typically go into an office environment in industry. If they take medical coding as a part of their curriculum, they now are in the healthcare arena for that. We have our accounting program, which is a well compensated area for people, for students that learn the accounting skills that they need to get into. Again, that's a little competitive program. You have to demonstrate some knowledge to be able to aspire to become an accounting graduate at our college. And I'll want to mention our technical communications area.
Very important. Yeah.
Very important, because here you can earn many of your core courses, including the 10 we've talked about that the Board of Regents now will accept without question.
And core courses again are English,
Math, science, biology,
chemistry,
Chemistry.
world history perhaps,
world
things like that.
history, psychology, sociology, the list goes on.
And
So-
now could let's say a kid is graduating from LaGrange Troop Callaway or one of our service area schools, could they come this year and take some of those courses and then transfer to their...
Absolutely, and one of the nice things about our summer quarter this year is it fits into the college schedule of the Board of Regents. So in 5 weeks you can accomplish, which we start that quarter in July the 4th.
Right.
And it's a great opportunity for students to jump in there and take a course or 2 or 3 of their core. And let me tell you, if you're looking at tuition rates,
Exactly.
West Georgia Tech is the best value in the state. You can take a course at the semester in our semester conversion for $75 an hour, and
that's much
you're gonna be
lower.
looking at $200 to $300 minimum
Right.
when you go to any other place. So
And now these courses, you're saying that student leaves the troop, Callaway, LaGrange, whatever, they come to West Georgia Tech, they pay this lower rate, and those transfer to Georgia, Valdosta State, Columbus State.
That's right.
And they've just saved a potential lot of money.
A lot of
Is
money.
that pretty much correct?
That's correct. And all of that's in spite of the hope changes. It's a little bit of an adjustment for our students that have been able to go to college at pretty much no cost.
Right.
But now they're going to have a little skin in the game. But when you start looking at that and compare a $75 an hour credit hour rate compared to other colleges, you're going to find us to be the best value in town.
And now in the past, Hope paid all the tuition. What's Hope going to pay now? 50, 60%?
90%.
Hope is still paying 90% of the tuition.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
That's right.
an unbeatable deal.
And all you have to do is be qualified,
right,
and maintain that B average to get there. And if you were a stellar student out of high school, they pay 100%.
Right. So Hope is still paying 100% if you meet
if you meet the criteria.
I think they call it the Zell Miller.
Zell Miller, the originator, the founder, so to speak, of our Hope, at least from the political side.
Right. You've told us a lot about some great programs. Some of the programs, though, we have that you take the coursework and you're still going to have to pass a state certification or something before you're still going to be allowed to. Talk a little bit about that and let the folks know what that's about.
Yeah, if you want to move on in accounting, you're going to have to take some credentials. You're going to have to go finish your degree and go for your CPA if that's the direction you want to take.
Okay.
If you're nursing, registered nursing, licensed practical nursing, you have to take a test and pass that test to get your license. Cosmetology, the same thing. If you want to be a licensed cosmetologist, you're going to have to go to the state board and pass a state test. We're also kicking in a lot of accreditation at the program level. And at the moment, we're doing that with our early childhood program and our welding program to apply, and our automotive program. Don't let me forget them. Another key piece of it.
Right.
But these have their own credentials, and when you graduate from our program that has been accredited by a national firm, it says you graduated from a program with high standards.
Correct.
And those high standards now make you more relevant in the workplace. It's not a cheap education. It's not you have to earn your grades and earn it to those standards. And we have activity in those areas. We also have our esthetician has to have a licensing program. So there are a lot of programs that we prepare you for that test.
So when our students leave West Georgia Tech, they are a trained, skilled graduate that can go on and easily pass the accreditations and get very, very good, rewarding careers.
That's exactly right.
Pretty much correct.
That's correct.
All right. We appreciate you, Creighton, for coming today and talking to us about the instructional side of West Georgia Tech. Before we leave, I just want to remind everyone that this is a bi-monthly program. We'll be visiting you 2 times a month. We'll have different guests on each segment. Again, we're glad to be here. We hope you join in, and I just want to leave you with this thought. When you learn more, you earn more. This is Perrin Alford, Provost of West Georgia Technical College, and we'll see you next time on Technically Speaking.
When I heard about the Troup County Works website, I went ahead and registered for the site, even though I had a job at the time. I found a lot of great resources on the site. However, last May I was laid off and I was looking for a job, so I immediately turned to the Troup County Works website to see if there were any job posts available. I had just missed a resume writing workshop, and I was able to submit my resume. There was a professional review done, and my resume really came out looking great. I used all the online resources that were available on the website. I found a career fit through a job posting on the site and could not be happier with the job I found. I just really wanted to thank Troup County Works, the website, the whole team for helping me and my family find a great career.
When your baby's journey is by car, the Latch system will help keep them safe. Anchor, tether, latch. It's easier and makes your car seat secure, so your baby's journeys will be safe and sure.